To hear this man tell it, the last maiden was a proper hero of war. Compared to her, well, he trails off as a heavy sigh of disapproval forces its way out of him. A gate stands tall before you, marred here and there by deep gouges and scratch marks. You reckon the monsters for the arena battles are kept within. The man eagerly awaits his turn in the ring. "My quarrel is not with humans," he says gravely. You take that to mean he'll only be fighting monsters out there. "We need the money. The kids have to eat," the woman says to herself, seeming ready to put her life on the line to win. "No, no, I forgot my salve," the man yells in a panic. A sudden calm washes over him. Oh, wait, there was a merchant back in the vestibule. What an emotional ride this man's life must be. "I'm not taking registrations now," the receptionist says flatly. The receptionist calls out to you as you attempt to open the door. Apparently, you're not allowed in yet. Don't let it get you down. Come play again, says the boy, waving. You're pretty strong, the boy praises you, proffering a gift in commemoration of your first win with these rules. You find a beast lurking in the shadows of the valley, but it does not appear to be the one that the Crimson Maiden is searching for. It glares at you. Seems you're not getting out of this without a fight. Teamwork makes the dream. Your stance keeps slipping, Gladio hisses at Lavia as soon as the final blow's been struck. Sorry, Lavia shoots back and resumes scanning the area for monsters. You find a beast huddled in a small burrow in the rock wall, but it does not appear to be the one that the Crimson Maiden is searching for. Nevertheless, it is not happy to have an intruder in its home and attacks. The party readies for battle. Don't hold back. Teamwork makes the dream work. You find a beast and immediately raise your sword to it, but it does not so much as flinch. Upon further inspection, it looks like a falling rock or something has crushed the poor creature's life right out of it. It's dead, Lavia says flatly. Lack and Laddie suddenly exhale, hands pressed to their chests in relief. Gladio, sensing an imminent threat, tells everyone to be on their guard. The clanking of heavy chains precedes the appearance of a massive beast. Blood drips from the iron hammers clutched in its fists. The party grips their own weapons ever tighter, fighting their own looming sense of fear. Show 'em what you got. Teamwork makes the dream work. The Maiden launches one last attack as his attendant strikes the beast with the pommel of his sword. At last, the feral fiend falls silent. Lack and Laddie break out into a round of applause, which Levia greets with a smile and a playful swipe of his nose. "We're not done," Gladio reminds the party. He binds the beast in chains, hoists it up with one hand, and carries it back toward the Dominion. You never did get to ask about the Maiden's relic in the end. You follow them back to Hero's Dominion in hopes of rectifying that oversight. Hero's Dominion. A place so renowned, stories of it reached you across the vast sea. The cries of powerful warriors pierce the air, though it's impossible to tell if they're cries of joy or pain. Levia informs you that the Dominion attracts all manner of warriors who long to prove their strength in battle. There are even more than usual, he says, thanks to the tournament that's due to begin soon. The party makes their way to the arena, eager to return the captured monster to its cage. Gladio drops the monster in front of the reception desk with a wet, meaty thud. "I felled it," Levia says without hesitation. "I expected nothing less," the man behind the desk says with a hearty laugh. It quickly becomes clear, however, that this compliment was intended for Gladio. Levia chafes, but at least the beast has been returned. The party makes its way back out of the arena. "What's a runt like you come to the arena for?" the warriors sneer in Levia's direction. His blood clearly boiling, Levia spins around on a heel and raises his fist. "Say that one more time," he shouts. Fists raised and eyes locked. You can see they'll come to blows any second now. You reckon Levia's no match for his opponent and decide to intervene on his behalf. You rear back, your muscles tightening as you throw your whole body into a devastating punch. Unfortunately, the warrior saw it coming and handily counters. "Enough," Gladio barks by way of intervention. Despite picking the fight in the first place, The warriors show no interest in going up against the attendant. They slink off, complaining bitterly as they do so. By all accounts, Livia endures rather crude treatment, despite being a maiden. You snap out of your thoughts when Gladio turns and thanks you for aiding in the monster's capture. He tells Livia to show you to the inn, as if to suggest everyone could use a rest after that fight, and takes his leave. You arrive at the inn, eager to rest. You mention to Livia once more what brings you to the West Isle. You speak of the current state of Omega Isle and how the Maiden's relics are key to saving the island. Livia hears your tale in full, only to politely decline your entreaty. He pauses for a moment, lost in thought. "I'm not the Maiden," he confesses rather abruptly. He explains that while it's true he was born into a long line of maidens, he has not been recognized as the Maiden on account of being a man. That his mother, the previous Maiden, fell in battle, and he has simply been named as Maiden to fill the role in the interim. Lack helpfully explains that since Livia is not an official Maiden, his relic is no more than an ordinary weapon, and therefore of no help to Laddie. Livia, his confession complete, bids you farewell and walks off. Clearly, the Maiden's circumstances are as varied as the islands on which they live. On the desk is a piece of paper, upon which is scrawled a terribly handsome doodle of Lack. Laddie sits in the chair, head bobbing in a desperate, if futile, struggle against sleep. She's no doubt exhausted from all the fighting. Lack floats in the air, its mouth gently opening and closing. You presume it to be asleep. You lift your hands close to its ear and clap once, with vigor. "Explosions! Help! We're all gonna die!" it shrieks, shooting even further into the air. Everyone is plainly spent from a day of fighting. The time has come for rest. "Enter the Maiden's match with me," Livia blurts out nonsensically, barreling into your room. "It's a special tournament, and it starts soon," Livia explains breathlessly. "As it happens, they'll select the next Maiden from the winners. A fitting festival for the might-obsessed hero's dominion, you think. But will they actually recognize Livia as the next Maiden if he wins?" Livia says he simply wants to win the tournament and gaze smugly at all the people who've called him weak over the years. You think back on how the citizens of the Dominion treat Livia. How hard he works at a dangerous occupation, yet receives no respect for it. You can hear the pain of it in his voice every time he speaks. All right, it's a deal, you say. Besides, fighting people from all sorts of different places sounds like fun. When does it? You begin. But Livia cuts you off with an excited, tomorrow. The sun is dazzling on this, the morning of the tournament. The clanking of blades echoes all around you. Let's get to reception quick, Livia chirps as he joins you en route to the arena. Here to pick up a few scars? The man behind the desk asks with a smirk. He begins explaining the rules of the Maiden's match. Participants register in pairs, taking on the roles of maiden and attendant as they fight. Once you're registered, you can go wait in the vestibule, the man explains, gesturing at the far door. What do you think you're doing? The crimson attendant's voice stops you in your tracks. Let's go, Livia says as he runs through the door, perhaps presuming that Gladio has no business dictating what he can and cannot enter. Immature brat, Gladio sighs, his helmet hiding his expression from view. Even so, you detect a note of worry rather than fury in his voice. I'll go easy on you, the woman says, brimming with confidence. How may I help you? The proprietor inquires. Will that be all? The proprietor asks. The man's knees knock together. You reach out to him, concerned. Don't mind me. This is all excitement, he barks, sweating. We'll show 'em all, Livia shouts, psyching himself up for the fight. The ringleader's voice echoes off the stone walls of the lobby. Onward to battle. Laddie seems to be in good spirits. You imagine she'd say, "This ought to be fun." You know we're going to fight, don't you? You ask. Laddie turns pale. Clearly, she misunderstood what kind of tournament this was. All right. Time to show these jerks what you can do. Magnificent. Laddie can hardly contain her excitement at having won. You can tell because she's looking up at the sky, furiously punching the air above her head. Livia wipes the sweat from his brow as you approach. You greet him, and he leaps back with a yelp. "Don't sneak up on me like that," he snaps, with no small amount of embarrassment. Ah, youth. Awkward youth. Okay, the only way out is through. Fortune favors the... Magnificent. Magnificent. Congrats. Buckle up, Buttercup, Black shouts for some reason at Laddie, who is drained from the consecutive battles. If we win this next fight, that's it, Lavia says in quiet awe. Let's wipe those smug looks off everyone's faces, you say by way of encouragement. Yeah, Lavia shouts in response. The ringleader announces the final battle. There's no turning back now. Who else should be waiting for you in the final round but the Crimson Attendant? Despite this being a team event, he's battled his way to the final round all by himself. Do your worst, he bellows, striking an intimidating pose. Don't need to tell me twice, Lavia barks back, gripping his sword for dear life and fixing his gaze upon his attendant. This fight won't be anything like the others. The powerful attendant bears down with all his might, but Lavia holds firm. As the pair struggle, a section of the arena wall suddenly blows apart. A familiar beast emerges from the dust and the rubble. One you swear you saw in chains but a day ago. Whipped into a frenzy, the beast whirls a hammer over its head and charges you. Fortune favors the bold. It has been a brutal struggle. The beast's knees buckle ever so briefly. There's your opening. Time for our special attack. The Crimson Maiden and his attendant bellow in unison. You did great. The Crimson Maiden and his stalwart attendants attack, slays the beast. Gladio at last acknowledges the strength hidden within Livia and recognizes him as an equal. Use that strength to fulfill your destiny, Gladio says with the air of a proud father seeing his own son off on an adventure. Livia prepares to address the raucous crowd. He places a hand to his chest, gathers himself for a moment, and begins his speech. He tells of his history with Gladio, who trained him ever since he was a young boy and raised him in place of his departed mother. Gladio taught him the true meaning of strength, so he could one day fulfill the maiden's destiny. He molded Livia into a strong young man from an immature boy. And now that his strength has been universally recognized, Livia tells the crowd it is time to reveal a truth that he has kept well hidden. Livia is in fact a woman, and thus the rightful successor to the Crimson Maiden. I, Livia, swear to protect this land as its rightful maiden. She raises her relic to the sky. It begins to shine with a light to rival the sun overhead. Livia, the Crimson Maiden by name and birthright, basks in the glory her people rain down upon her. Her small frame shows no sign of buckling under the immense responsibility that is now upon her. At last, she looks ready. Livia is mobbed by a heaving crowd of admirers. Seeing as they're bound to keep her busy for some time, and surmising that there will be other opportunities to borrow the relic, you decide to depart Hero's Dominion. You bid the Dominion farewell as the sun dyes the sky a deep red in celebration of the Maiden's victory. The voice belongs to none other than the Crimson Maiden herself, guardian of the West Isle. She approaches you, serene and calm as can be. Who is this person? Was the belligerence and bravado all an act? A lie? Is there a difference? Acknowledging your friendship, forged in the crucible of battle, she hands the Maiden's relic to Laddie, on the condition that should she become a maiden, Laddie must visit the Dominion and return the relic. Livia gives a hearty wave as you push off from shore. Why would the Crimson Maiden, whose biggest wish has just come true, be crying? No, no, no. Her face must be catching the light of the setting sun. Yes, that's why her eyes look so red. Laddie gazes out at the horizon from the deck of the ship as it rolls over the waves. The Crimson Maiden became a maiden in the end. You reckon Laddie's thinking about that journey and what it means. Laddie takes out her book and scribbles something inside, which she then shows to you. Apparently, Laddie's mother was the previous maiden of the village. There might be some clues as to how to become a maiden in the personal. Her proposal is as big as her handwriting is small. You nod firmly and cut the rudder in the direction of Omega Isle. Lack claps you on the shoulder, saying, "You could do with a rest here and there yourself." It then starts to chant some kind of spell. It explains that your ship can now travel to any island you've already visited on its own. You've never seen Lack look so smug with itself, and that's saying something. You find yourselves back in the village Laddie had hitherto refused to return to. Her grip on the Crimson Maiden's relic tightens. Her face is taut and determined. Laddie sets foot in the village, not even bothering to have Lack transform her face with its shape-shifting magic. So, you've returned, a woman says with no small amount of displeasure. What a warm welcome. The woman heads out of view towards the center of town, as if fleeing from Laddie's very presence. You know that Laddie, for her part, wants to become a maiden so she can protect these people. You just hope you can get that message through to them. You begin introducing Laddie, only to be rudely interrupted. "I'm busy," the old man snaps. You begin introducing Laddie, but the boy cuts you off. "Look, I'm sorry, but you need to leave." The frankly heartless reception Laddie receives begins to weigh on her. Her head hangs low. Her resolve from earlier, now a distant memory. Whatever happened here? It's frayed her relations with the village, even more than you thought. You all decide it's best to leave the villagers alone for the time being, and instead search for her mother's personal effects. Laddie leads you to her home, which turns out to be the home of Mayor Grieth. You always considered yourself close with Grieth, and yet you had no idea he had a daughter. You open the door to a completely silent house. Grieth must be out. Laddie enters what is ostensibly her home, with the soft, suspicious movements of a thief. You enter the kitchen to find Lack noisily munching on a piece of fruit as it scrounges around the kitchen for more to eat. Laddie's eyes widen as she points angrily at Lack. You can feel her saying, "Quit eating other people's food, you animal." But even as she scolds the self-proclaimed spirit, drool dribbles from the corner of her mouth. You carefully wipe it away. You search the kitchen, but don't find anything all that special. You move on to another room. The storeroom is full of gardening implements and tools used to perform fixes around the house. The village as a whole may be in decline, but it owes its pristine houses and vibrant flower beds to the tireless efforts of its mayor. Alas, you see nothing that could be the personal effects of Laddie's mother. You move on to another room. You step into Grieth's room. Sunbeams from the window play across an immaculately organized desk and tidy bookshelf. You all search for her mother's effects, doing your best not to disturb anything. Laddie tugs insistently at your sleeve. Has she found something? You turn to her. She holds in her hands a weathered book. It looks rather like the one she's been making a picture book out of. This is it. You both might finally learn something definitive about her mother. You gently open the cover. What are you doing here? The master of the house appears, his eyes wild with suspicion, darting between you and Laddie. You insist that you can explain, if he'd just give you a chance. He roars, clearly not willing to give you that chance. His face contorts with demonic fury, tears forming in her eyes at the sudden and incomprehensible rage emanating from the man. Laddie runs out of the room. You give chase, not sparing a single moment to contemplate what could possibly cause someone as kind as Grieth to become such a monster. Thus far, you have woven a tale of adventure that has incorporated yarns from the maidens of the South and West Isles. According to your navigation map, there ought to be islands home to maidens in the northern and eastern regions of the ocean as well. You've likely grown quite accustomed to seafaring. From this point onward, you can sail the ocean as you see fit. But be wary. One never knows what might happen out on the high seas. The rush of the wind filling your senses, you open up the navigation map to check your current position and heading. In the eastern region of the sea, there is supposed to be an island with a maiden living on it. However, the present look of the skies makes it clear that those waters will soon be battered by a storm. You could still turn back now if you so choose. You decide to head for the East Isle. In the shadows of a rocky reef, there seems to be a good place to moor the ship. It would behoove you to prepare for the coming storm. The Bon Vent creaks, swaying atop the tempestuous seas. You and your companions huddle in the ship's cabin, the dim light of your lantern threatening to fade at any moment as you all wait for the storm to pass. Laddie is wrapped tightly in a blanket, looking much like a large caterpillar. Your joke that the ship might sink seems to have frightened her. You don't see Lack around, but it is likely trapped inside the blanket, having fallen prey to Laddie's squeezing hug. The ship lurches. A book falls from Laddie's pack and lands on the floor near you. It's the picture book she made, the one you peeked in back at the grotto. Having evidently learned nothing from last time, you decide to take another look in the book. As you turn the pages once again, you come to realize what the book actually is. At first you thought it was just a picture book, but the first half of it actually appears to be Laddie's own diary. It's full of passages which detail Laddie's life when she was little, a time when she still dreamed of becoming a maiden. Another day, another round of maiden training. Dad is always there to encourage me when I do a good job, so no matter how tough it gets, I can handle it. I decided I'd head straight home once I finished, since Mom was waiting for me. If I train super hard, all the other villagers will be happy with me. I have to keep these people smiling. I have to become the maiden. Mom's the current maiden of our village, and she's a great cook and an awesome person. She's been making tons of really delicious food lately. The food tastes so good, and when I start shoveling it into my mouth, forgetting to even chew it, Mom warns me, "Slow down so you don't choke." And then Dad calls me a piggy, even though he always eats more than me. I wish we could be happy like this forever. If I become the maiden and protect the village, will my family be able to stay together like this forever? I get really worried and ask my parents about it. Dad gives me a gentle nod, but for some reason, Mom doesn't say anything. Mom hasn't come home in a couple of days. Dad told me she left on a journey with the spirit. I know what Mom did was really important, but for some reason, I can't stop crying about it. Ever since Mom disappeared, my training has been going bad. Really bad. If something doesn't change, I'm not going to be able to become the maiden. I won't be able to protect the village like Mom did. I leave the shrine to go home, when suddenly a young man from town bumps into me. Pain in the ass. His voice is irritated, and he walks away without apologizing. Ever since my training started to go badly, the villagers have been mean to me. I know it's my fault. I know it's because I can't become the maiden. Not even Dad supports me anymore. He hasn't come to watch my training in a long time. I think he might hate me now. I've got to work harder so Dad will like me again. Dad took me on a boat to a small island. We went ashore, and then he locked me up in a dark room. Dad abandoned me. No matter how many times I tell myself it's my own fault, I just can't stop crying. I sob and scream for him to come back, but he doesn't. And eventually, I can't cry or shout any longer. A sudden wave rocks the ship, tearing your eyes away from the diary. In the lantern-lit cabin, Laddie is fast asleep, still wrapped up in her blanket. You think back upon the first day you found her. Collapsed on the... Had she just escaped from the islet where she had been confined and wound up drifting ashore? Now aware of the painful memories spelled out in her diary, your heart wavers like the light sputtering in the lantern. You and your friends have managed to weather the storm. The sea's now calmed. You raise sails and set the Bon Vent's course for the East Isle. Fight him off. Magnificent. Magnificent. You discover a shipwreck. You climb aboard and begin searching for anything useful. When you return to your vessel, the shipwreck sinks silently into the sea. Magnificent. Magnificent. Teamwork makes the dream work. I don't know what it is, but there's just something so... You did great. And fight. Magnificent. Ahoy, matey. It's like you can feel the sea breeze. Ha. You discover a shipwreck. You climb aboard and begin searching for anything useful. When you return to your vessel, the shipwreck sinks silently into the sea. Hope you win. Magnificent. Teamwork makes the dream. Ah, the great open sea! Huzzah! What an adventure! And fight. The rod bends and fits and starts. You're sure she's got something. Laddie, you look at the fish, beaming with pride. You know what Laddie will be having for supper this evening. A ship devoid of any people floats in the shallows. Curious, you approach to get a closer look. Suddenly, a man jumps from the water near the ship with great vigor. Your party is surprised, tumbling in unison onto their backsides. The man immediately puts a question to your group. Have you any shiny round stones? The man's hobby, as it happens, is collecting beautiful round stones. He spends his days diving into the sea searching for them. Muttering to himself about round, shiny, beautiful stones, he dives back under the water. Don't hold back. Two fight as one. And fight. 2 fight as 1. Fortune favors the... Oh, yeah, you can't cross... And fight. Teamwork makes the... Don't hold back. Two fight as one. Don't hold back. Teamwork makes the... Fortune favors the bold. Magnificent. Laddie greedily eyes the fishing rod on the boat. You can't help but feel she is eager to have another go. Do you want to? Laddie's minutes pass. Suddenly, the rod jerks toward the water. Laddie's eyes dart toward you, pleading for guidance. The rod whips about wildly. If there's anything on the hook, Laddie scrunches up her face in confusion and hands it to you. Excellent. Magnificent. Teamwork makes the... And fight. Teamwork makes the... And fight. Teamwork makes the dream. A monster leaps out, in rage that you have disturbed its slumber. Don't hold back. Teamwork makes the dream work. After vanquishing the beast, you peer inside the chest. You grin, realizing that your find may be able to aid you on your journey. Two fight as one. And fight. Excellent. Magnificent. 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 You discover a shipwreck. You climb aboard and begin searching for anything useful. When you return to your vessel, the shipwreck sinks silently into the sea. Don't hold back. Two fight as one. You encounter a fisherman. He stares at the fish and seaweed caught in his net and lets loose a peaked sigh. You inquire as to his frustration, and he replies, "I just can't net myself any sea grapes." The forlorn fisher has evidently only had them once, but has never been able to forget their piquant flavor. He has since scoured seas the world over for them. He returns to his net, muttering to himself, "Oh, I just want some nice salty sea grapes." Excellent. Teamwork makes the dream. Two fight as one. And fight. Teamwork makes the dream. The East Isle, covered in dismal wetlands. Even the sea breeze blowing across the island seems suffused with melancholy. Upon docking, your party is greeted by sodden earth studded with decaying trees and greenery. You consult your navigation map for directions to the nearby village, then set out, taking extra care with your steps, lest unwary feet plunge into the mire. Tempting though it may be to wander, this isn't where you're headed, so you turn around. A bizarre rock appeared. It seems primed to explode. The bizarre rock transformed into a fear rock. The only way out of this fight is through it. And fight! Teamwork makes the dream. Magnificent. Magnificent. A well-to-do looking old man appears before you. Care to try your luck again? He challenges you. You decide to tempt fortune. The rules are the likewise. Now then, let's begin. Today's prize is... The old man pulls something from his bag. You take a die from the old man and give it a squeeze. It's do or die. Alas, fortune does not smile upon you. I'm raking it in, the old man laughs as he wanders off to parts unknown. A giant whirlpool impedes your path. Looking closely, you can see several sea monsters playing in the swell. You stand atop the deck and yell obscenities at the monsters. They immediately charge at you, angered that you spoiled. Don't hold back. Ouch. Magnificent. Teamwork makes the dream. magnificent. Just as the monsters disappear, so does the whirlpool, and the sea calms. You discover a shipwreck. You climb aboard and begin searching for anything useful. The shipwreck seems to be you give up on the search and resume your journey. Fight him off. You've found a shipwreck. As you climb on deck, you spy someone else who evidently found it before you. He stands anguished in front of a door he claims leads to the treasure hold. He tells you that he can't locate the lever responsible for opening it. If only I had some sort of stick or something that fit perfectly into the slot where the lever was, I could get in. The man is searching around for something he can use to replace the lever that operates the door. You decide that if you come across a stick or rod that could help open the door, you'll come back and give it to the man. In the meantime, you bid him farewell. I'd better not. You apologize to the old man and take your leave. This must be a stela of the Isle's guardian spirit. Back, I say. Away from here, beast. A villager waves his weapon about as he tussles with a monster. The man is clearly in danger. You decide to help him subdue the fiend. Fight as one. With the monster dispatched, the man approaches you and offers his thanks. He explains that recent months have seen more and more monsters attacking Fenmoss, so he has been patrolling the village daily. You inquire about Fenmoss's Maiden, and he informs you that she is friendly with the village mayor. You decide to hurry and meet with him. Don't hold back. Two fight as one. You stand in the village of Fenmoss, a settlement forced into uneasy coexistence with the surrounding wetlands. An indescribable gloom creeps into the village from the swamp. Don't hold back. Hope you win.